Klaviyo is basically your brand's CRM. It's your messaging hub. It's where all of the customer data lives and how you stay in touch with them. So if you're not proficient in Klaviyo, every flow I'm going to show you, every campaign, everything is just going to seem complicated and blurry. In this video, I'm going to give you the foundational skills that you need to run Klaviyo confidently. You learn how to navigate the platform. You learn how to use the core features so that you can get comfortable. And it's crucial that you get this right first, because everything else in email marketing depends on this. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand is the core components: lists, metrics, properties, and segments. Do not worry if this has gone over your head. I don't expect you to understand this the first time. I'm going to go onto Klaviyo and I'm going to show you where everything is so that you can get comfortable. And I'm going to explain each one of these one by one. So, first of all, lists. By the way, Klaviyo on the left panel, there's going to be a lot of stuff, and most of this you don't need to touch. Alright? So for lists, you simply want to go down to audiences, click on lists and segments, and here you can see your lists. Right? So what a list is basically just a static list of emails and phone numbers. It's not dynamic, like you can't set rules or it's not something that automatically goes up and down. The only way to remove someone from a list is either you manually remove them or they unsubscribe from the list. So lists are static. I want you to think, when I say list, I want you to think of a physical list, alright, handwritten. It's hard to erase, it's hard to take out, and it's hard to add in. That's lists. Now, next you have metrics. Metrics are basically actions that people can take. Metrics can be divided into email metrics, such as opening an email, receiving an email, clicking on an email, and they can also be website metrics. For example, someone adds to cart, or someone views a product page, or someone starts the checkout process. Those are website metrics. You also have other metrics like custom metrics for certain apps or whatever. Don't focus on that. Just let's keep it simple. You have email metrics that are specific to emails on Klaviyo, and you have metrics, which Klaviyo will show you as well, which are website metrics, because your Shopify is going to be integrated with Klaviyo, so you're going to be getting that data as well. Then you have properties. Now, properties are, you could say, little tags added onto profiles by Klaviyo. So for example, let's say this profile has tags here, custom properties. Sorry, not tags, property. They are basically the same thing, but yeah. Properties, for example, Klaviyo, whenever a profile is created, you have the property, the created date property, so that this will allow you to make segments or make flows based on when a profile was created. Don't worry about this yet, just understand that properties are just simple little tags added onto profiles, which will allow you to personalize. Then you have segments. Segments are, I would say, the most useful, the most functional. You can use them when sending campaigns. You can use them when setting up flows. And segments are basically flexible lists. You know, when I said lists is like a physical sheet of paper with a list of names, you could say. Segments are dynamic. You can think of it as a digital screen with a list of names, and a list of names and emails and phone numbers constantly changes depending on the definitions you have set in your segment. So let me just show you. If you go to segments, and let's say when you create a segment, by the way, you're already spending money to get traffic on site, right? But here's the thing, 97% of that traffic is going to leave after one visit and is never going to come back. We just helped one brand go from 5% to 17% email capture rate by making 3 simple tweaks that you can make as well. There's a free guide in the description that shows you how. It'll take you 10 minutes to implement, but it's going to grow your brand's lifetime asset, which is your email list, 4 times faster. All right, let's just call this created in the last 30 days and opened an email 2 times. That's just a random segment. So what you can do with segments is, when setting up the definition of a segment, you can use all of these lists, metrics, and properties to group people. So for example, created in the last 30 days would be properties about someone, created in the last 30 days, another condition, and select and opened an email 2 times. So now we are going to be doing metric. So this is a property, this is a metric. By combining the two, we can create specific groups of people. Opened email is at least 2 times. When you start making segments, you will get a lot more familiar with all of these drop-down options that you have. So don't worry if you see me going so fast and you're like, how is it doing this? Don't worry, it will come with time. 2 times all the time. That's good. So yeah, as you can see, segments are made up of definitions, which is basically a combination of rules that we set. What property should the profile have? What metrics should the profile have done? And we can also do what list the person is in. So and person, if someone is in a list or not, is inside newsletter. Okay. So yeah, these are the core components which will allow us to send campaigns to specific type of people, set up flows that can be super personalized, and yeah, these are the core components. Now you have campaigns and flows. You can see campaigns over here, okay, and you can see flows just below. Let me zoom in a bit, just below, like this. Now campaigns are manual one-time sends. So you're just sending an email one time, and it only goes out to the people that you have selected. Okay, it's a one-time send basically. It's manual and it's a one-time send. Flows are automations that will keep on running. They will keep on sending automatically. So for example, the most common one is the welcome flow. When someone subscribes to your pop-up, opts inside of your pop-up, they enter the welcome flow, which is an automation, and it holds, let's say, 5 emails, and those 5 flow emails will automatically keep sending to anyone that subscribes. Okay, so yeah, this is the difference between campaigns and flows. And of course, within each one of these, within campaigns, you have different settings, which I'm going to show you in a separate video. Within flows, you have a lot more settings, filters, triggers, conditional splits, etc., which I am going to show you in a separate video. So we've gone over the difference between campaigns and flows. Now we have templates and emails. For some reason, I don't know why, people always call emails templates. Like, it makes no sense, but that's what people call it. Basically, whenever you want to set up an email, that's inside this flow, even though the way you get to that email block is going to be different for flows and it's going to be different for campaigns, the actual email is going to be the same. So these are basically Klaviyo's templates. We can ignore this for now. Just click on create. Okay, if I just go back to show. So this page which you see is basically how you set up one email. Okay. This is going to be the same view when you set up a campaign email and when you set up a flow email. You can see the sender name here. That's what the sender name of the email would be. It's not supposed to be email 1, that's the sender name. Then you have the subject line. Then you have the preview text. Oh, sorry. So above, that's just the internal name. Sorry about that. So yeah, the top field is the internal name. Below preview text, you have the sender name. Okay, that's what the recipient will see. That's your sender email address, and if you want to have a different reply email address to that email, just add inside here, which just basically means if someone replies to that Klaviyo email, it's going to go to this email address and not this one. But yeah, most of the time, just keep it the same, unless you have inbox management issues. So yeah, that's the basics of an email. Subject line, preview text, sender name, and the sender email address. And then you have the email internal name at the top. Then, when you want to build an email, you simply click on Edit Email, and this is the drag and drop editor. Just be careful, we are not going to be using these blocks when building an email. We are going to be building the emails inside of Figma, which is because it's a lot more flexible, and then we're going to be importing it inside of this editor here. I will have a separate video showing you how to do that, but in this video I just want to get you comfortable with how everything looks and where everything is. So yeah, templates and emails, same thing. I don't know why they call it templates, but yeah, that's the email block, you could say, right? When you're setting up campaign emails or setting up flow emails, it's going to look the same when you zoom down to the email level. So after that, you just have universal assets. So within the email, what you can do, what we do is, let's say if you want to have a super cool footer, right? Like a well-designed footer, and you want to be able to reuse that footer in every single email, you simply design the footer, and then a section that holds the footer, you can save it as a universal asset, right? Save it as a universal asset, and when you build new emails in the future, let's say flow emails, you just have to go to universal and find the section you just created, drag it like this. You're going to see this green color on the star, which means that it's a universal asset. And this is cool, this is useful, because you can have the same footer and the same header inside of all the emails. Inside of, let's say you have 20 different flow emails. If the footer and the header are universal assets, you won't have to manually go inside of each email to edit something. If you want to edit a footer or edit the header, you won't have to manually open up all the emails and edit them. You will simply have to click on edit across all instances like this, and you can edit it, right? That's super useful. And one use case is for the header. Let's say all your flow emails have the universal asset, which is the header universal asset. Let's say you have a sale coming up. You simply have to go to one email, edit the universal asset, change the text from free shipping over $50 to 3 days until Black Friday, let's say, right? You just have to change it once and it's going to appear in all of the emails, right? So yeah, that's just one use case. There are many different use cases for universal assets, but I just wanted to show you this because it's something super useful. And yeah, we've had a look at the core components. We've had a look at the difference between campaigns and flows. We've zoomed in down to the email block. And even within the email block, I've introduced you to the different blocks and the universal assets. And yeah, that's a quick intro so that you can get familiar with Klaviyo. If I just go back to the home page, and again, on the left panel, you see a lot of things. The most common pages that you will visit is the campaigns page, the flows page, the sign up forms page, and the lists and segments page. Right? These are the most common. Everything else is basically not really needed. Okay, 80% of the time or 90% of the time, when you hop onto Klaviyo, You are going to go on one of these 4 pages. And yeah, that was the quick intro. Once you start using Klaviyo yourself, you're going to get a lot more comfortable with everything. And yeah, I think one thing I forgot to show you is how do you create lists. Super simple. You simply go to list and segments, create new, create list, name your list, let's say test, and you simply press on create list. Now one thing that you have to do whenever you create a list is go to settings, consent, and choose single opt-in, right? Unless you have a special reason you want customers to confirm their subscription inside of the inbox, then it's a different matter. But most of the time, or 90% of the time, you should be selecting single opt-in, because you don't want your customers and your subscribers to have to look for an email that says confirm subscription. Because if they forgot to confirm their subscription after giving you their email, they are never going to receive emails from you unless they find that confirm your subscription email buried in their inbox and press on it. So yeah, that's why you want to choose single opt-in. If they're a bad profile, there are many ways to detect bad profiles and remove them. So yeah, do not worry about that. And yeah, quick intro to Klaviyo, the core components, difference between campaigns and flows, explanation of templates and emails, and explanation of universal assets. I hope that was useful, and